On March 18, 1990, two men walked into one of America's most prestigious art museums. They wore Boston police uniforms. They spoke calmly. And within 81 minutes, they were gone. So was $500 million worth of art. The FBI has been investigating for over 30 years. The paintings have never been found. And the empty frames? They're still hanging on the walls, exactly where the masterpieces used to be. America doesn't just have unsolved crimes. It has unsolved billions. And tonight, we're going inside 3 of them. Case 1, the Gardner Museum Heist, Boston, 1990. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum was not just a gallery. It was a collector's obsession frozen in time. Renaissance paintings, marble sculptures, rare tapestries, priceless Flemish masterworks, all arranged exactly as its founder intended, in a palazzo modeled on a Venetian courtyard. It was also, on this particular night, guarded by a single security officer and a system that was never designed for what was about to happen. Shortly after midnight, 2 men in police uniforms rang the side entrance bell. The guard, following standard protocol, opened the door. That was the last ordinary moment of the evening. The thieves handcuffed both guards, secured them in the basement, and then moved, calmly, methodically, through the silent galleries. No panic. No rush. Just 2 men who knew exactly what they wanted and exactly where it was. They took 13 works, a Rembrandt self-portrait, a Vermeer, 5 Degas sketches, a Manet. They cut canvases directly from their frames. They pried a bronze eagle from a Napoleonic flagpole. And when they were done, they loaded a car, walked out the same door they'd entered, and disappeared into the Boston night. 81 minutes. That's all it took to steal what experts now value at over $500 million, making this the largest art theft in human history. What followed was one of the most exhaustive art investigations ever conducted. Fingerprints, tire tracks, surveillance footage, hundreds of witness interviews. The FBI consulted organized crime informants, international art brokers, and private investigators on 3 continents. One widely discussed theory suggests the theft was orchestrated by the Boston mob, not to sell the art, but to use it as a bargaining chip in future criminal negotiations. Art, after all, can't be traced like cash. It doesn't appear in bank statements. It doesn't trigger suspicious transaction reports. In the right criminal network, a stolen Rembrandt is better than money. But no arrest has ever been made. No painting has ever been publicly recovered. And those empty gilded frames still hang on the museum walls today, left there deliberately, as a reminder, and a promise, that the museum believes the art will one day return. The Gardner case tells us something that every case in this video will confirm. The most dangerous criminals don't overpower a system. They read it. They find the gap between what the protocol says and what actually happens at midnight. At the Gardner Museum, that gap was 11 inches wide, the distance between the door and the frame. Just enough for 2 men in uniforms to walk through. Case 2, the Loomis Fargo inside job, Charlotte, 1997. The Gardner theft was about beauty. What happened 7 years later in Charlotte, North Carolina was about something far more banal, and far more instructive. It was about a man who knew too much. And a plan that trusted the wrong people. David Gaunt was a vault supervisor at the Loomis Fargo Currency Depot. 30 years old. Unremarkable on paper. But he had something that no burglar, no safecracker, no armed robber could buy. He had the access codes, the security schedules, and the complete trust of his employers. On the night of September 12, 1997, Gaunt used all of it. He quietly loaded a Loomis Fargo armored van with cash, bundle after bundle, and drove it away from the facility. No masks. No weapons. No dramatic confrontation. No moment that would have triggered a single alarm. Just a man, a van, and $17 million, rolling out into the Charlotte night like any other routine pickup. His co-conspirators were supposed to help him disappear. Instead, they sent Gaunt to Mexico, alone, while they stayed in Charlotte and immediately began spending. New SUVs. Lakefront homes. Watercraft. Shopping sprees that averaged what most families earn in a year. One co-conspirator allegedly spent tens of thousands of dollars at a single Walmart in a single afternoon. Not a wire transfer. Not a shell company. Cash. At Walmart. When you steal $17 million and your accomplices start dropping cash at Walmart, the FBI doesn't need a tip. It needs about 45 minutes. Federal agents tracked banking records, airline reservations, and hotel registrations. The spending trail was so obvious it barely qualified as detective work. Within months, the entire conspiracy had unraveled. Gaunt was arrested in Mexico. His co-conspirators were picked up one by one. Most of the money was recovered. But not all of it. Millions remain unaccounted for to this day. The theory that a portion of the cash was hidden before the arrests has never been fully disproven. Somewhere, possibly in a storage unit or behind a wall in a Charlotte suburb, Loomis Fargo money may still be sitting. But here's what the Gaunt case really exposed: the greatest vulnerability in any secure institution isn't the lock on the vault. It's the person you handed the key to on their first day and never thought about again. The Gardner thieves exploited a protocol. Gaunt exploited trust. Both worked. And the third case suggests the pattern goes even deeper than either of them. Case 3, the Brinks Jewelry Heist, San Francisco, 2022. The Gardner heist happened in 1990. Loomis Fargo in 1997. Both feel like a different era, before facial recognition, before GPS tracking, before every phone became a surveillance device. So consider this: in 2022, with all of that technology in place, someone walked away with $100 million in jewelry. And nobody has been charged. A Brinks armored truck was transporting high-value jewelry from an international exhibition near San Francisco. The gems, luxury watches, and precious stones inside had just been displayed to the public, the kind of exhibition that operates on a need-to-know logistics schedule. That schedule, investigators later concluded, was known to the wrong person. Somewhere along the transportation route, containers were removed from the vehicle during a brief unattended window. Not forced open. Not cut through. Removed, suggesting someone knew which containers, which vehicle, and exactly how long that window would last. $100 million. In gems. Gone. And unlike cash, diamonds don't have serial numbers. They don't have tracking chips. They can become something else entirely within 48 hours. A stolen painting is still a painting. It can be identified, flagged at auction houses, traced across borders. But a diamond? A ruby? Recut it. Reset it. Break it into component stones and sell them separately through legitimate dealers in Antwerp, Dubai, or Hong Kong. Within weeks, $100 million in identifiable gems becomes $100 million in untraceable inventory. Investigators examined highway cameras, truck stop footage, logistics manifests, and license plate reader data across the Bay Area. Interpol was notified. Gem certification databases were flagged. Insurance specialists with their own international networks were brought in. No arrests have been publicly announced. The jewelry has not been recovered. The investigation is technically still open, which in law enforcement terms means we know more than we're saying, and we're still watching. 3 decades separate the Gardner heist from the Brinks theft. The technology changed completely. The criminal playbook did not change at all. The pattern behind the crimes, analysis. 3 cities. 3 decades. 3 entirely different crimes. And yet the same signature runs through all of them, so clearly that once you see it, you can't unsee it. None of these heists succeeded through overwhelming force. None of them required a genius. What they required was something far harder to defend against: knowledge. Insider access. A precise understanding of the gap between how a security system is designed to work, and how it actually works at 2 in the morning. The Gardner thieves knew the museum ran skeleton security overnight. Gaunt knew the vault schedule down to the minute. The Brinks thieves knew the transportation window, not the general route, but the specific moment when the vehicle would be briefly unattended. In every case, the information was the weapon. The execution was almost secondary. Modern security has evolved in response. Biometric access. AI monitored. Surveillance. Randomized delivery routes. Psychological screening. But security specialists will tell you something that keeps them up at night: the criminals evolve too. The gap between offense and defense never fully closes. It just moves. Solving a case and recovering what was stolen are 2 entirely different challenges. And history shows, the second one is almost always harder than the first. Those empty frames at the Gardner Museum have hung on the walls for over 30 years. The museum keeps them there on purpose. A reminder. A promise. And maybe a provocation to whoever is sitting somewhere right now, knowing exactly where those paintings are. One theory says the canvases are in a climate-controlled warehouse in Connecticut, waiting for a negotiation that never came. Another says they left the country within weeks and are now in a private collection that will never be made public. A third, the darkest theory, says they were destroyed. That the real secret isn't where they are. It's that they no longer exist. So here's the question: which theory do you believe, and which of these three cases do you think is the closest to finally being solved? Drop it in the comments. If you want to keep going deeper into history's greatest unsolved mysteries, subscribe to Arcanum Studio. New investigations every week. And the next one goes somewhere even darker than tonight.